Right, hello everybody, my name is Will. I'm one of the flight training advisors at Skyborne Airline Academy. I'm here today to give you a presentation on beyond flight training. And I'll give you a bit of catch up on sort of what all that means. Before I start speaking, I'm going to show you a quick video on sort of what life is like flying in Florida, which is where we do our foundation flight training, and then we'll jump straight into it. Okie doke. Cool. So that was a quick video just to give you an idea of what life is like flying in Florida, which is where our foundation flight training takes place. So you all have a little bit of background on me. My name is Will. As I mentioned earlier, I'm one of the flight training advisors at Skyborne. I've been at Skyborne nearly 2 years. I've worked in flight training for about 10 years now. So I feel like I'm getting a feel and understand it a little bit better than I did maybe a couple of years ago. And today we're just going to go through some of the stuff that we kind of include in part of our flight training that maybe isn't necessarily talked about on a day-to-day basis. A lot of the schools here today, we offer more or less similar packages, but maybe there's a few things on top that we may not consider today, so trying to highlight some of those for you today. So the first one is mental health support. So this is still fairly new to aviation, something that I know the airlines are really passionate about pushing through, and something that we do really focus on from the get-go when people join Skyborne. We know that mental health is more and more prominent in the years that we're going into at the moment, 2023 and onwards. I'm sure it will become more and more. And we just want to be there and as a support for all the trainees that are taking place in training. It can get difficult sometimes for some people. It's the first time they've been away from home. We want to make sure that we've got the support in-house and externally as well. So if you always need that support, we've got mental health first aiders on site that you can speak to. If you want to have a coffee, go for a chat, things get difficult. We know things that get quite stressful. The exams come up pretty quickly. And sometimes you just need to have a breather, have a chat with someone. We've got those people on site to support you throughout your training. If you need further support, we partner with Red Umbrella. They're actually an aviation mental health support, and you can reach out to them directly, nothing to do with Skyborne, for just any additional help, any support that you need throughout your training. It may not be something that you need today, tomorrow, or any time of your training, but for us, we just want to make sure we're offering it to you, make sure that you know you've got that support, so it's there if you need it. Performance protection. I've spoken about this all day. This is amazing. So performance protection is one of the standout features, I think, of Skyborne and how we sort of manage this process. So what is performance protection? So when you pass a selection with Skyborne, we offer you performance protection as part of an integrated program. And what that basically means is that it gives you the peace of mind throughout your training that if you are struggling or need additional training, whatever that might be, we're kind of the first point of support for that. So how that works is, I'll give you a couple of examples of how things might happen or play out in training that give you kind of an indication of how it works. So during ground school, things get quite stressful quite quickly, exams come up. We're there to support you as best as we can. You do a lot of exams when you're in ground school, whether it be for the actual official exams or the school finals or the progress tests. We're monitoring your progress all the way through the training to make sure that everything is working smoothly. When it comes to the school finals, you need to pass those school finals before we put you forward for your actual real exams with the CAA. If you're unsuccessful with those exams, we're not going to put you forward for those exams. It doesn't make sense in the best scenario for you to sit an exam that we know you're not going to pass. At the end of the day, we want you to be able to get a job with the airlines. So we're going to give you additional support maybe. Maybe that is we need to give you some additional training, or it's maybe we could recourse you, which is where we push you back a month and you do another month of training. So you've got another month of training, another month in the accommodation. Skyborne cover that cost for you under the performance protection. Hopefully then that extra month of training helps you and you get on through your training without any problems. If for whatever reason it comes to it again and you still need that additional support, this is where we start to evaluate whether or not becoming a pilot is something for you in the future. And what we can do is say, look, there's a couple of options at this point. The main one with the performance protection is that if it's not going to happen, you don't have the aptitude to continue. You passed our selection, so that's more or less on us. You passed our selection. We thought you were going to be a pilot, but in this case, it's just not worked out. So what we're going to do is give you a couple of options. First one is we can take away the performance protection and you can continue your training. And then if any additional training is required, you would just pay for that where needed. Or we could take it off you and say, look, maybe this wasn't for you. You've tried your best, aptitude wasn't there, and we refund everything back to you except for the deposit. But that happens at any point in your training. So you could be in Florida, flying, doing hours, coming up to your CPL, losing the aptitude. It's just not happening no matter what we're doing with the additional training that we offer under the performance protection. Isn't happening, and we go, look, maybe this wasn't for you. We'll refund everything back to you except for that £10,000 deposit. So that's our performance protection, and it's throughout the whole program, and it's there just to support you to give that extra little bit of comfort, knowing that worst case scenario, you know, it's not that you're losing £100,000 or whatever it might be. You know, you've got that progress to that test. Customer service training as well. So we know that when you start with us, you're not necessarily going to be the best in the industry when it comes to customer service. You might not have had any exposure to that. So throughout your training, we'll give you 2 days of customer service training to prepare for you for what life will be like at the airlines, dealing with customers on sometimes a stressful basis, and how best to approach their sort of frustrations in a lot of cases, and how to sort of operate as a pilot through that customer journey. So the full honours BCSC, I'm losing my voice, I'm really sorry. The full honours BCSC degree is included with Skyborne with the University of West London, which is a partnership with us. This means alongside our integrated programme, you can study for this degree. And it means at the end of your training, not only do you come out with a frozen ATPL, being able to live your dream flying for the airlines, but you'll also have a full honours degree, which is then rated obviously a 2-1 first, whatever it might be in terms of your grades. This allows you to access student finance and also allows bursaries from the university as well. On top of this, facilities and locations. So in Skyborne, I'm going to take a drink before we start going into like micros and noises. Hopefully that's a bit better. Okay, so the facilities and locations that we offer as well. So we've got Gloucester in the UK, which is our main base. So that's in Cheltenham. That's like Skyborne HQ. That's a purpose-built building for us. We take about 120, 140 trainees per year. It's all about quality over quantity. We're not looking for 1,000 trainees a year. We're looking for the best trainees to provide the best trainees to the airlines. That's what it's all about. Obviously, we've got Florida and Vero Beach, which you saw earlier on the screen for the video. Florida is a 12-acre campus. It's a little bit different how things operate at Gloucester. Everything's on site. So when you arrive, your accommodation, the swimming pool, the training line, everything there is all walkable distance. I'll get through it. And those are our two main bases. So that's what we've got at the moment. We've got Gloucester and we've got Florida. And then graduate placement as well. So after you've done this amazing course with us, we'll also support you in finding a job. That is the fundamental option. Obviously, you might have seen today that we're the official UK partner for the British Airways Speedbird programme, and obviously have the tagged programme with them as well, which is really, really exciting. Something that team have been working on for a few years now. I'm really excited to see come to light. Some of you may have already potentially sat. I know I've spoken to a few people today that have gone through that process and are still on that. So fingers crossed that works out. But if you're unsuccessful with the BA Speedbird and going through as a whitetail program or whatever it might be, we'll also offer additional support as well. So when it comes to the end of your training, we offer workshops, CV support, putting you in the right seat to be able to get into a job at the airline. Oh my God, dying. Yeah, placement opportunities all across. So we place with British Airways, EasyJet, TUI, Wizz Air, DHL, Logan, Eastern Airways, Blue Islands. I'm trying to list them all for you as best as I can remember. And yeah, we support as much as we can. So if you said to us, you know, I've got an interview coming up at this airline, contact us, contact Carla, who's head of airline relationships with the airlines, and she'll do her best to support you in terms of getting that first job. Oh, and as mentioned, we're the British Airways UK supplier for the Speedbird Initiative. So for those of you that haven't heard of the Speedbird Initiative, it's a fully funded program partnered with Skyborne. The applications have now shut, but they are due to reopen in 2024. And then on top of the British Airways, we've got the tagging program as well. So if you're on a self-funded integrated ATPL program, you can also go through the tagged program, which means providing that you meet the entry criteria, which is 85% average in ground school and no more than 3 fails, we can recommend you to British Airways, where you can then start your assessments with them before you've even finished. We've actually got some of our trainees on stand today. I won't highlight them because that'll put unnecessary pressure on them. But they have conditional offers from British Airways. The conditionals offers are based on their first-time passes for the flying elements. So they had the grades to be able to apply for it in the first place from ground school. So they got the conditional offer, and then they need to do a first-time pass on CPL and IR. And I know one of them's got their IR next week, so I won't highlight who that is. Don't want to put any pressure on that person. And that's how you can get through to British Airways directly with Skyborne. As I mentioned earlier, we do place with lots of other airlines as well, all across the UK. We've got some exciting announcements coming up as well in the next couple of weeks. I think I'll be shot because I think this is recorded if I say any more than that. But yeah, there's a lot more coming from us. So if you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, and I'm going to have a drink. Yes, go for it.
Can I ask about this? What does it mean, tagging? Instead of like being...
Yeah, so it's like it's a bit like, you know, like when you go to university and you apply to university and you get like an unconditional offer or a conditional offer. It's exactly the same process. So the airline's tagged you at that point, so you have a job with the airline at the end of it, providing you meet those conditions. It's like almost the best place to be, because it means that before you've even finished training, you've pretty much got that job offer from the airline.
And the Speedbird is a scholarship program, so the tagging doesn't involve any
So you're like tagged before you've even started, I suppose, if you...
any help with your paying for the cost, but you've got a job.
Yes, yeah. They do sponsor the type rating though, so there's no cost with the type rating. Any other questions? No? Cool. I'm okay with that. Thanks very much for coming. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Drink lots of water.